think I am officially live now. Just double checking what my delay is going to be like from here on. I might have to hardwire for the auction, or I might have to do the same process that I did last time with the having my phone as my monitor and working off of that. So, looking like it's pretty crazy delayed here. I'm not getting anything on my phone. Anyway, yeah, I'll just assume that this is actually going. I'm going to start off with picking March's charity of the month. And so, okay. See, can you tell that I was kind of like working on this very last minute because it's, I'm hoping that's going to show up that way. So, what I've got for the month of March, these are the options for the charity. Yeah, we're looking at like a 2 or 3 minute delay. That's insane. And now I'm, okay. So we've got Mark W. with The Inn. That's Oxford County's homeless shelter. We've got Josh R. Comics and Gaming with London Women's Shelter. We've got Take the Time Collectibles with Project Pinball. We've got Farley's Nerd Cave with Gary Sinise Foundation. We've got Pages Films and Plastics with All Animal Rescue Limited. KW with The Gift of Baby Elena. Ruben Nieves with South Florida Multiple Sclerosis Charity. Comic Jabroni with Wounded Warrior Project. And Crime Alley Comics with Shriners Hospitals for Children. So I'm just going to randomize that once, and that'll tell us at the top of the list who is the charity of the month. And that would be The Inn, Oxford County's homeless shelter. So that's very cool. Unfortunately, and I was hoping that that would be something that is eBay applicable, because there's a long story with an eBay promotion that I went into, and I ended up using all my listings, and luckily I caught it last second that they were going to be relisted, but at my expense. So I had to very quickly take everything down. But now I've got 50 buy it now items, so anything that I put up in the eBay store as an auction item, I'm going to have to pay the listing fee on that. So in other words, I'm relying exclusively on those buy it now sales, which probably won't happen, and this live auction, plus maybe the one at the beginning of April, as what's going to be earning money for The Inn, for Mark W.'s charity there. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to... First, I'm going to check this and see how it's going with the lag, because I have a feeling it's still pretty substantial. If I'm even running live at all. Yep, we're still looking at like a 1 or 2 minute delay, so I'm going to have to do something about that. Alright, moving over to what I'm calling the auction cam, although I might not actually be using that. This is some recent haul stuff that I was able to get for relatively cheap. The seller was willing and able to work with me on the shipping charges. She was a global shipping program customer, and she did that thing where we just brought all the items together into a single listing, and I bought it all outright. And so the shipping on this actually worked out to about what it does from southwestern Ontario to southwestern Ontario, and that's about $1 a comic for shipping. And then the prices that I paid on the auctions, not too shabby. There was something very unfortunate, and we'll get here in a second. There's a huge Batman lot, Modern Age, and the box that it came in is this one here. And as you can see, that's how it showed up. And she had each of the items, and I'm not complaining here because she did do me a solid by combining the shipping, but she had packed it into 3 manila envelopes and just kind of piled them in there with the sheet of the packing paper that kind of wrapped everything. But of course, as I was going through them, I'm like, oh, okay, good. And everything seemed fine, but then I got to the bottom envelope, and where it had fallen or where it had been thrown or whatever, almost all of the books had a very deep spine crunch, like on the corner. And it was really unfortunate. Luckily, the keys within that lot aren't severely damaged. But everything else went from like solid 9.4, 9.6 down to an 8.0, maybe 8.5. And then luckily the keys are still at around 9.0. But either way, every single book got damaged somehow. All right, Pages, Films, and Plastics. Here's your contest entry. Pages, Films, and Plastics. I've got the link in the description below. He wants you to answer some questions, and the first one is, if you were to give Batman a superpower, so I'm just going to flip over to Batman, what would it be? And I think that my superpower that I would give to Batman would have to be like Xavier's telepathy, but with the combination of Cerebro, because I feel like he could do a lot more good. I may as well just keep flipping through these. A lot more good with, this is in shitty condition, 3.5 probably. He could do a lot more good with his mind than with his fists, because a lot of Batman's villains, almost all of them, they have a certain neurosis about them. And he could get in there, rewire them, and boom, there they are, productive members of society again. So I think that would be far better than using vigilante justice. He could use vigilante justice of the mind and help these people rather than beat the shit out of them, if that makes sense. All right, so the second question was, take two superpowers away from Superman. So mine that I would choose to take from Superman, I may as well just keep flipping through these, show you what I got. Here's the beginning of that lot that got damaged. So Superman, I would take away his super speed, which would include the flight, and I would take away his chill breath, or whatever you want to call that. Mostly like the freezing breath, I would take away just because it's useless, mostly. Although he might be able to help with the global warming up in the glaciers. Anyway, I'm taking away his super speed because one of the things about Batman, I put this in like one of these because it was surprisingly very barely damaged, probably a 9.2 for that first appearance of Damian Wayne, which is pretty wicked. Yeah, part of his conundrum as a superhero is that he can't help everybody. He can help anybody, but he can't help everybody. So it's almost like that Sartrean philosophy thing where we are condemned to be free. And as Simone de Beauvoir pointed out, she never felt as free as when Germany was occupying France, because her options were so limited that she was exercising more of her freedom of choice, because it was like a 50-50, join the resistance or don't, right? So that's a 50% of your freedom is being exercised. Whereas if you have 1,000 options, if she was physically free, then she would actually only be exercising 0.01% of her freedom with the 1,000 different options. I don't know if that makes sense mathematically to you, but it does to me. So basically, by taking away Superman's super speed, we are limiting his choices of who he can help, which is actually helping him. He no longer has to suffer from the fact that he didn't help this person while he was helping this person. Does that make any sense? On an existentially philosophical level, it does to me, but those are the two powers I would take away from Superman. The next question is, what two superpowers would you give yourself? And I would give myself speed, cure other people. So, in other words, with this coronavirus thing going on, I could just take a list of everyone who's infected. That's the end of this whole Batman run that I got with the Damian Wayne keys and modern Batman stuff. But I don't know if I can show you this or not. But it doesn't really show up that well. But you can kind of see how deep that dent is, which is really too bad. I said spine dent, but I meant cover dent. So I could have like a microchip, Punisher microchip, you know that guy? I could have a version of him where he's saying, okay, this kid over here's got cancer, you got to head to Arizona right now. So I would do that, go cure the kid's cancer, and then, maybe head over to Washington and take care of the coronavirus that's over there. And I don't know, that would bring about its own whole can of worms of problems, that choosing what is necessary for population control and stuff like that. Because if you cure everybody, then all of the environmental issues we're having just get exacerbated. I don't know. Anyway, I thought this was really cool. This is a reprint, and I got it for mega cheap. I'm not bothering to really tell you about these, except for that this is a key. It's the first appearance of Unknown Soldier. It's around a 4.0, but yeah, it's again ridiculously cheap. This one I paid a little bit for, but I mean that's in really nice shape. Probably 5.5, we'll say, just to be safe. I didn't have a chance to go through and read all these and make sure all the pages are there and intact. I just did a quick like cover, back cover, staples. I'll get through doing a more thorough job of that later. I was missing both of these, and now I'm not, so that's cool. This was just kind of a throw-in. I wanted to get more bang for my buck with the shipping. Another kind of throw-in. Nobody else bid on it, so I took it. Second copy for me, which means that I might end up selling this one. This one actually, because why have two? Supervillain Team Up numbers 3 and 5. Oh yeah, so Pages, Films, and Plastics. I hope that suffices as your answer to your questions on your contest. And then this one, I was so happy about. It almost made up for all those cover dents in that crappy packaging job, which, again, I don't want to complain because she was such a good seller overall. That's like a solid 9.0, 9.2. And I bought all 4 of these Tomb of Draculas, basically for the price of one, which is rad. This one's got stamp up there, whatever. I've got all the grades for these ones anyway, listed elsewhere, but there's that, and that. All 3 of these were doubles. I bought the whole lot of 4 just for that one, because for some reason I've had great difficulty finding it. And then lastly, this was super sweet, and I don't think anybody knew what it was, because it's the first appearance of Preacher. It's a preview, and on the wall at my local comic book store, it's really high value and high price, and I forgot to look that up on Comic Book Realm before I made this video, but I'm pretty sure that that's like a stellar deal that I got for that one. Alright, so let's hope I can figure out those technical difficulties before March 5th, or else I'm going to be forced to do what I did last time and use my MacBook cam use this cam as my cam for auctioning stuff, which makes it really difficult for me, because if I got to get up and grab something, I'm leaving you with dead air and nothing to look at either. So, alright, thanks for watching. If you're watching this in the replay, sorry it went so long, Pages, Films, and Plastics, go check out his contest announcement video. I've got it in the description below. Alright, bye for now.